There's not a lot of difference between a thin shot and one that you strike very well. In fact, it's really millimeters of difference. A thin shot is often caused by trying to either hit the ball too cleanly off the ground or just the idea that you're trying to get it in the air. It's very subtle, can actually happen almost unconsciously, but it's enough to make you hit the golf ball off the bottom of the club. And as you do that, hit it off the bottom, you don't get the full loft of the club, and that's why it flies off much lower than normal in most cases, and it feels nasty up through the shaft into the handle. Why do we do it? Well, often it's because we're trying to hit the ball too cleanly off the ground, or even trying to get the ball in the air. Sometimes it's an unconscious thing, something we thought about a long time ago, but we still happen to do it unconsciously. The result is that thin shot. Now, how should we strike it? Well, when you look at the club face, you've got the lines on the club face. If you was to count up to somewhere around the 5th or 6th line, that's the part of the club face that should meet the ball. Now, watch what happens. When I do that, I get those lines to hit the ball right on the equator of the ball. Look at the shaft angle now, it's leaning forward quite a bit, plus the bottom two lines don't even touch the golf ball at all. Now that's probably a different concept to what a lot of you may have, but if you understand that, that can radically change the way you perform. So let's put that down now into real practice. In order now to strike the golf ball out of that 5th or 6th line out the club face, I've got to feel as though I'm driving the ball more forward rather than up. It's the club's job to do the lifting of the ball. Your job is to drive the ball forward. Imagine if you was trying to play the game along the ground. If you was trying to drive this golf ball forward, just straight forward along the ground, that would actually get the club to work correctly, and you'd end up hitting the equator of the ball from the 5th or 6th line. That's when you get a good strike. No more thin shots. Just watch. So from there, I'm just focusing on that 5th or 6th line, and immediately that's out of the middle of the club face. I've got a little divot after the ball, which is another good sign. Often when you hit a thin shot, you don't get a divot whatsoever. So get clear on the concept where you want to hit the ball in the club face, and you'll no longer hit thin shots. In fact, you'll hit a lot of pure shots right into the green. In summary, point 1, aim to strike the equator of the ball from the 5th line up on the club face. Point 2, always take a divot after the ball.